Hello everyone, good afternoon. And I, Ashutosh Kumar, welcome to all at 23rd World Education Summit, Day 1, third panel. And here we have very interesting session now. And topic is harnessing the power of technology of holistic development of your school. And we have very good panelists here. So first of all, I will introduce Mr. Kanak Gupta, Director at MRJ Puri High Schools. Welcome to coming, sir.
Thank you, Ashutosh.
Then we have Ravi Kittu, Senior Director, Product Management, Power School. Thanks for
Thanks,
coming, sir.
Thanks, Ashutosh. Hello, everyone. Great to meet.
And then we have Sanjay Nandi, Principal, Podar International School, CIE Kalyan, Mumbai, Maharashtra. Thanks for coming
Hello,
us.
everybody. Hello, everybody. Good evening.
And Nani, and Sani International School, Hyderabad. Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
And we have Richa Sharma. I think she will be joined in between. Richa Sharma, Principal, Raghav Global School, Noida. So now I am going to give this session to Kanak Gupta, sir, to moderate the session. So over to you, sir.
Great. Thank you so much, Ashutosh. And thank you to Elets for having us as part of this panel discussion. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Kanak Gupta, and I'm the director of State MR Jaipuriya Schools. It's my absolute pleasure and privilege to be moderating this session. I have the easiest job today, which is to ask questions and satisfy my curiosity. And I'm joined by some of the best minds in the country who are dealing with schools, who are dealing with students at ground level as well as on a strategic level. I'm so happy that I'm joined by some very eminent panelists. So before we get into it, I must appreciate Elets. They sent across a note to us as to how we can have this session flow, and I was so happy to see the details. But the kind of expertise we have on the panel, I feel we are going to have a more free-flowing conversation, and I'm looking forward to it. Right. So we'll stick to the topic, but I'm sure that there'll be opinion, there will be suggestions beyond the topic as well. We are essentially discussing as to how technology can be implemented at schools for holistic development of children. We're looking at technology as to how technology is being a part of the school systems. I strongly believe that it's not technology which is replacing teachers. It is teachers who are using technology well are the ones that are replacing teachers who have an aversion towards technology, because it's becoming a hygiene factor. It's becoming something sort of a child is growing up with. If you look at a child of today, she or he has access to devices, has access to technology, has access to network, has access to smartphones. And it'll be very unfair to this child to tell them that, you should not care about this. You should only focus on the traditional or age-old methods, which make a lot of sense, but you should also look at combining the two. Hybrid is a word that a lot of people are using. But to take things forward, we've been saying this for a very long time, that technology is the enabler, and it's the educator who has to play a more prominent role with a lot of things. I strongly believe that as well. It's the educator who will need to play a more prominent role in bringing out the best of students to integrate technology. If we look at the last 2 years, offline, all us panelists were talking about as how the world changed, how the education system changed, how our teachers upskilled in terms of technology, in terms of pedagogy as well, to engage the children. I thought that was very, very important, and it was heartwarming to see the kind of efforts put in by teachers all over the world. We came into this battle without any training, without any learning tools available to us, and we had to go, into the front right away. And I thought teachers and parents, students have done tremendously well. There is elements of mental well-being and emotional well-being of students that we want to talk about as well. I also feel that with the incoming of the NEP 2020, there is a substantial portion which talks about use of technology and integration of technology in the school, not just in the teaching learning process, but also in the overall functioning of the school. I'm so glad that the government is also envisioning that this needs to be. So, right, I'm so happy that we'll be discussing these elements and more as we go along. So we'll keep the format fairly straightforward, gentlemen. Opening remarks from each and every one of you, and after that we'll go into Q&A. If time permits, we will invite audience participation as well, and our backstage would keep on providing us with questions that come on social media, and we'll take it forward accordingly. Right. So, just as an opening remark to all the panelists, if you can just highlight as to how do you use technology in your school in terms of teaching learning, how do you use technology in terms of overall administration of the school, is there data coming in and how are you using that data as well, what kind of tools do you use. Opening remarks, I can first go to Dr. Harish from Sadhu Vaswani International School. Sir, if you can please share, and if sir requests you to keep your opening address brief. Thank you.
Namaskars to each one of you. So nice of you to have called me for this session today. Dear friends, we run Sadhu Vaswani International School in Kompally, Hyderabad. It's a school which was started by our Gurudev Dada J.P. Vaswani, the name which you all must be very familiar. And the purpose of starting the school was to impart a value-based education. He gave us 4 C's to run this school: character, culture, compassion, and courage, to be imparted, to be passed down to the children. Ever since the pandemic came, we switched over to technology. Because technology came to our rescue, we started having online classes, which really saved the children wasting their 2 years. It was a great hope, and it materialized. Children today, they have been coming, they are impatiently waiting for the school to start. We at Sadhu Vaswani International School apply technology in all the fields. We have smart boards in all the class. Smart boards are a very good tool to see that the children not only hear but assimilate the knowledge within themselves. Any educational system, there are 3 parts. One is Shravan, to listen; Manan, to integrate each other; and assimilation. This tool helps them to assimilate whatever they are taught in the class. Then we have very smart portals like Never Skull Parent Portal. Within minutes, the message spreads to all the parents, and even the lesson plans, even the homework is sent on this portal to the parents, so that the children are upbeat about it. The parents are also aware of the homework which is given to the children. Then we utilize this. We have a cat labs. Recently, we got the Atal lab. We were sanctioned Atal lab, which is operational now in our school, which is using the technology to upgrade ourselves up to the world standards. And we are really finding it very useful for our institution. Then, of course, one thing, though we are talking of technology, but I still feel that what we need today is a Guru Shishya Parampara. That parampara should not be lost. A student, when the teacher enters the class, he has a glow on his face or her face. This glow or shine on the teacher's face works as a key to open up the brain of the child, which we don't find in technology. Modern education has really sharpened the intellect of children, but has blunted their hearts and minds. It is said that the opposite of love is not hatred. Opposite of love is apathy. We have to train children to bear compassion in their mind, to learn their culture, to have a character. This technology cannot give. Technology can help us to impart this type of education to the children. Every morning we say, Asato ma sat gamaya, tamaso ma jyotir gamaya, mrityur ma amritam gamaya. True education using technology or whatever method has to lead us from darkness to light. And that technology alone cannot. Yes, we have to walk hand in hand with technology, to impart this type of education to our children. And this is what we are doing in Sadhu Vaswani International School, Hyderabad. Many of our children, see, we propagate vegetarianism because Sadhu Vaswani was a staunch follower of vegetarianism. And you won't believe many of our children, they have turned vegetarian. You will say, what will happen if children turn vegetarian? So many animals are saved from slaughter. Technology is not going to teach them this. Technology is good to update them, to upgrade them in their values. Yes, everything is good in technology, but technology cannot teach them to be good human beings. That teacher and student relation interaction is very important. So I mean to say that we as panelists, we as educationists, should blend science and spirituality together and impart that type of education to the children. We should never compromise on the technology in our schools, but spirituality also is very important. Ultimately, we have to produce good human beings. At one occasion, our Guruji, Father J.P. Vaswan in America said, what India needs today is men and women of character. And this character building cannot happen with technology alone. It has to be a personal interaction, personal love and affection between a teacher and his student. In our school, yes, technology we are using. We have got cath labs, Atal Lab, I told you. Then we are using all platforms and the lesson plans. Our teachers take help from the online lesson plans, but we instruct them to make the lesson plans according to the mental abilities of their children. See, online lesson plans are very hi-fi. Many children may not be able to catch up. So we have to blend them. So we have divided our children as very smart learners, but we don't tell them. So we have to make lesson plans according to their standard, according to their capabilities, according to their IQs, so that nobody feels left out. Dear friends, I want to use this platform to see that what we are saying in Ukraine is the wrongdoing of technology. Technology, if used for constructive purposes, is very good. Technology used for destructive purposes, we should not teach our children.
Superb.
What we used to learn under a tree, the teacher taking the class, teaching us, that cannot be attained. But yes, the pace of knowledge which the children are gaining is very fast using technology. I mean to say we all should follow technology. We should take the maximum effect of technology, but not forgetting that love and affection between fellow human beings cannot be generated by technology. It will only by one to one relation. A teacher's eye to eye contact is enough to cause a child to learn. This is what is needed. I will learn from you all that how we at Sadhu Vaswani International School can imbibe good qualities from you all and introduce to our children and technologically so that they learn more and more and excel in whatever field they enter into. This is
Great.
the need of the hour.
Great.
This
Thank
is
you
the
so
need
much,
of the
sir.
hour.
Thank you so
Thank you,
much,
sir.
sir, for sharing your opening remarks. I'll come back to you with some
Yeah.
questions as
Yes.
well. But I'm so glad that you talked about the four C's. I added two more C's to it in the last 2 years. I added connectedness and cleanliness. Connectedness because of internet, and I added cleanliness because we had to keep our hands clean. And but I'm so glad you spoke about holistic development of children. I also strongly believe that holistic development of children is very important along with the spiritual quotient. uh, Guru Shishya is very important because in India we talk about Ruchi, Yogyata, and Vishwas when we talk about the growth of children. So those are very important. We're joined by Richa Sharma ji as well, principal of Raghav Global School. Good afternoon, ma'am. I'll come to you for your opening remarks. But first, I'd like to go to Mr. Sanjay Nandi of Podar International School. Sir, if you can please share your opening remarks with us first.
Yeah, good evening, all of you. Respected panel, our moderator, and all the esteemed panelists, and all the virtual invited people around the world who are listening our program. watching it carefully. With all the respect to our panel members, our present generation, they are all technological, digitally active children across the globe. Probably we are the migrant pupil, but they are the digital citizen. But they should be nurtured such a manner, they should be learning, earning, and able to respect the digital citizenship which are based on the technology and should be using for their development. In this content, I should give few points which we used to do in our schools from last many years. Like 2015, we started using technology in every classroom more drastically. Like our all the classroom since inception, we having internet connection, a smart board, whiteboard, a PC, and high-speed internet connectivity. As per the more connection required, the bandwidth keep on changing every year. In 2015, we introduced bring your own device policy where every child are allowed to bring their iPad, laptop, tab or mobile. If mobile, then it will be definitely without SIM so that they can get connected to school Wi-Fi and able to access any research, any type of progress related work and individual performance so that teachers and students are same platform. They are able to nurture skills that how to use it, what are the best digital novice people should do, and what are the cyber safety and security and related all work. Our many submissions started through online platform before even lockdown. During lockdown, when it was announced, definitely we also had different difficulties. We faced difficulties. Our teacher first few initial week we faced difficulties to start classes from the home. There are different type of limitations, but we overcome more speedily than others because in classroom we used to have digital technology in place since last 5 years. In that aspect, I should to tell clearly that our basic problem was that how to use the same classroom environment more effectively in from home. Even at home, every teacher face different problems because they have their other family members to look after, and in the same time, in same places, they have to conduct classes with same spirit and same productivity. Learning outcomes should be same but through different platform. Teacher was missing student. Initially students started enjoying, but later on they realized that the physical school are more better off. When they started coming since 7th of October in our school physically, then they are in the opinion that sir, we learned initial few weeks and even month more happily at home, but later on it was like burden for on us that we are not able to do our best. Even we cannot channelize our energies. Probably we was enjoying the free time at home with technology. Now, our point of understanding here as a professional and as an educator that how we are using technology in classroom environment before and even after and at present, pre-COVID and post-COVID scenario. In year 2018, we started a concept based on in our lesson plan to integrate with SDG, Sustainable Developmental Goal, and how these all 17 SDGs, Sustainable Developmental Goal of UN, can be incorporated to our new generation through different content and different learning objective. It was our practice in start 2018. Till we are practicing the same way. As much as the connectivity we can build in every lessons, we take the example of SDG goals. It may be SDG goal 17 or 7 or 1 or 3, which could be linked with the children because they are the student who will be living their life after 2020-30, who will be enjoying and learning how to live with FDG goals as per the target and achievement. We wanted to bring the classroom for 2030 for the children who really wanted to build a world-class citizen in, even though they should take our own culture and pride to the world. And after a lockdown even, we also continuing the same Jill to elaborate and incorporate FDG goals in our curriculum to make it more student friendly. Even we are as a life skill partner, we are also introduced financial literacy with the children from standard 6 onwards, so that children should know importance of money in life, but first need to make the humanity and peace for the world. I really appreciate our previous panel partner with sir that without a human being, the world cannot be a better place. We do not want war, but definitely India always live for peace and humanity, and that should be continue through all the even in pandemic. India shown a lot of gestures to show world peace. They distributed medicines and vaccines throughout the world. Keeping those content in classroom environment, we do provide the understanding and concept for human peace, humanity, and peace for the children. I will take a pause here and over
Sure.
to the moderator for the further panel of discussion. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Nandi. I think you did touch a very relevant point when you said that we should bring in financial literacy and such topics in our school. And I guess it's somewhere we'll come to a question which is related to a curriculum, which is one of our guests have asked. Probably I'll come to it once we've done with the opening remarks of all panelists. I'll go over quickly to Richa Sharma ji, who's the principal of Raghav Global School, for her opening remarks. Ma'am, over to you.
Good evening, everyone, all the esteemed panelists, the educators who are watching the program. I would just give a brief outlook on the kind of education technology programs that we are running in our school. I would be first going back to somewhere in 2017, where I, took an initiative to introduce content creation online for by teachers. So we had a 1 year training program for our teachers, wherein we encourage teachers to learn how to develop their own content. And it was the animation class. We had a kind of recording studio, the presentations, drawing, on board on the digital platform. Such lectures were later on shared with students, and that was just, I would say, a kind of foresightedness that we were preparing teachers for the lockdown 2020. And it was almost like a cake work for my staff, because where people, teachers were struggling how to go on the online mode. I think 2017-18 training to educators was just a preparation for that. So bringing, I think training is one of the key, where I believe that technology is running at such a fast pace that every educator, every school principal or the management must focus on the teacher development program so far use of technology is concerned. I know we get a lot of kind of a bubble dream being created, that there are a lot of advantages, there are a lot of strategies, there are a lot of apps available in the market. But what I believe is that the kind of CPD for use of technology in education is there, that you need to work on at school level is very essential. The kind of vision a management should have. So I think I am so thankful, for my management that had vision at that time to invest in teachers' education, so that they are ready with, teaching, learning practices and strategies well in advance. Coming back to another strategy that we used, of course, we were ready with the blended classroom, which is a combination of online and face-to-face education. The best part, I think, of this blended form was the remedial online, the remedial sessions, to fill the learning gap. One advantage that we had of improving our learning and teaching strategy is data analysis. Through a very rigorous learning management system, we could find learning gaps happening, and the online remedial sessions that we took or our teachers arranged, they were very very fruitful. We were really able to achieve a lot of learning goals, and the learning outcomes were completely, teachers were very successful in achieving their learning outcomes for the lesson that they had planned. uh, we also have project-based learning. So, in our project-based learning class, we were also able to integrate technology, and the good part was bringing gamification. So, one of the training session was on gamification, where a lot of quiz games, the teaching learning strategies, where you could actually involve game into your particular lesson, was also involved. This is what is happening at RGS. And interesting thing that happened was the digital storytelling. So digital storytelling sessions with the teachers at primary and pre-primary level were very successful during the pandemic, of course. Uh, Though we have a lot of smart classrooms in our school, we are in collaboration with Data Edge as well to establish. But I can proudly say that now teachers are prepared with their own content. They can develop it. When we'll be back in the classrooms, for the offline classrooms, they would be better prepared and equipped because of the CPT that we had for them, and bringing this online kind of teaching skill, in the sense that of course it's improving, it's filling the learning gaps. It's also helping us to collaborate. So when we are talking about the lives skills you have mentioned about, so collaboration is something that we've been looking forward to, and successfully we have done it. In fact, our students are in collaboration with Victoria, Australia, and they're working on the STEM projects. So what's happening is the technology is kind of bringing and connecting the world. So the best of all, from the state, from the within the city, across the country and continents, I think it's playing a major role in bringing the best for our students. The last I would say is that children have also learned how to explore the social media, in the sense of creating podcasts which are educational, creating videos to collaborate and learn, preparing case studies, and how to research, especially the commerce children, using Google Forms, understanding the data, creating their own data and analyze the data. It's something where I find that teachers have been really successful in using the technology. So that would be just my take of how we are using technology in our school.
Superb. Thank you so much for sharing your views. Richaji, you spoke about something which is very dear to my heart as well, which is investing in teachers. Now, the NEP 2020 talks about a lot of hours being, invested in teacher skills enhancement, etc. All the educators who are watching this, who will be watching this later online, whatever, my very, very strong suggestion and humble request is, it doesn't matter what the NEP says, please invest in teacher upskilling. No matter what you do in your school, invest a lot of time, effort in upskilling your teachers, because they will be the ones who will be able to upskill the students better. No matter what we talk about, flipped classrooms, we talk about case studies, we talk about usage of technology. Ultimately, the child is at the center of the teaching learning process, and the teacher becomes a facilitator who does this. So I'm so glad that Richaji spoke about that as well. And I'm so happy to hear that teachers will be able to, at your school, and I'm sure at other places, will be able to create content of their own. Just before this panel discussion, I was speaking on an edtech platform, and I said this very, very openly, that all the content that is being created by a lot of the edtech players is being technology driven rather than academia driven, and it has to change. we have to make the best of both worlds, and the academia has to drive the teaching learning pattern that's going on these tech platforms. But thank you so much, Richa ji, for sharing your views. I'm going to quickly go over to Ravi Kittu ji, Senior Director at Power School, to share his opening remarks, please. Sir, over to you.
Thanks, Kanak. Good afternoon, everyone. Really glad to be part of the session. Wonderful to meet all of you. And thanks for the audience for taking the time to join. I've been part of a lot of these sessions since morning. Really wonderful sessions, lots of notes, wonderful learning. So thank you again. So my name is Ravi Kittu. I'm from Power School. We are based in Bangalore. First thing is we are not a school, even though our name has Power School. But what we do is we provide technology to schools. This is a journey of over 20 years. We've been working with over 60,000 schools globally and in India. So we have experience looking at a wide range of schools and what they are doing with technology. So some perspective based on this experience with a wide swath of schools across the globe. Um, we see schools adopt technology for different purposes, and all the other panelists have spoken about a lot of the wonderful ways they use technology. What we see is, like they have alluded to, they use technology for different purposes. Typically, a good a starting point for them is administrative solutions, right? What's called ERPs, accounting, admissions, fees, and technologies like that. Next is technology in the classroom itself to help teaching and learning. The early wave of this had been what we know as smart classes, right? Interactive whiteboards and videos in the classroom mapped to curriculum. A lot of the schools adopted this, but I think the adoption in actually using in the classroom was not as much as had been imagined. So many schools continue using them effectively, but a lot of sections don't use them effectively anymore. Now, of course, many schools are using technology in more advanced ways to help students and teachers. We saw examples from the panelists. Now, with COVID, the attention, of course, shifted to taking classes online, devices, connectivity, virtual classes, enabling teachers. We all know that part of the story, and that's been a fantastic, journey for schools in how much they were able to achieve in such a short time. And now, as we are close to getting back to real classes, back after the pandemic, the focus is on how to build on this. How can we use technology for the long term? Because schools are realizing the advantages to both the physical world and the virtual worlds, right? I mean, they have different strengths. So they're thinking of how to marry them both for the long term. So from using some of the things they might have started as workarounds for COVID to long-term effectiveness. And we have been really happy to work with schools in enabling them in this journey. Again, glad to hear perspective from others. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much, Raviji. I'm so glad that you're talking about the marriage of both the worlds, because yes, there is value add with it. For us, for example, in Delhi, now we know that every time that there is pollution and we'll have to forcefully close our schools, etc. We know that students have a way out, with continuing education from home. By the way, Delhi is not the most polluted city. There are other cities also which are very polluted in India, where we need to have interventions as well. But thank you so much for bringing in that view, and I'm glad that you mentioned about, I think you didn't use the word, but I think you were hinting towards twinning in the international level as to how students can do these projects together. I'm glad to hear about that, and I'm looking forward to more views. We'll come back to you. Great. We have a lot of questions coming in from the audience, and I think it'll be injustice if I don't give an opportunity to the audience to ask their questions rather than me imposing my questions. I'm going to quickly go over, and one of the questions. This is from Josephine Anthony from the Athena Global School in Chennai. How can curriculum be upgraded to suit the continued need for industry digitization? How can the curriculum be upgraded to suit the continued need for industry digitization? So essentially, the curriculum needs to meet the requirement of the present times, and we talk about not replacing the pedagogical format from in-person to technology, but the curriculum upgrade needs to happen. Is what the question is. Would any of the panelists like to answer that? Should I go to Dr. Harish? Sir, would you like to answer this question?
So upgradation has to be done according to the need. Upgrade, suppose there is industry, we have to do the upgradation of the curriculum. It has to be need based. And whatever the need is, then we can update that curriculum accordingly using technology, of course, to our rescue. This is all I can say about it.
Sure. Dr. Sanjay, your views on this?
Yes, sir. What I believe, uh, even from last 11, 12 years, I am in the Cambridge curriculum. Cambridge curriculum keep developing their pedagogy and methods, and even in curriculum content every 3 years. I work with a different other curriculum, even Indian curriculum, but what I realize that Cambridge curriculum development of the content are very much frequently. So every teacher even need to be get training every 3 years thoroughly to come back and start with understanding level, then execution level, and then moderation level. So in that aspect, definitely everybody need to be all curriculum need to be upgraded. In the same time, much use of technology and making the world as a better place. What I mentioned earlier, sustainable developmental goal and the implication for the new generation should be in place along with the curriculum so that world would be a better place.
Right. I guess our panelists are talking about is that it has to be need based, it has to be on situation, and we'll have to look at as to how it can be done. Just as a common idea, and all of us do this. We've learned it more in the last 2 years. So if you had, say, team projects in your school, instead of doing team assignment or discussions happening in person, you can always use a video conferencing tool to have a multi-person conference and do team projects, and it makes it much simpler. Instead of sending the students to the library for research, you should look at as to how you can use the internet and give them those skills. Give your students, give your teachers those skills as to how they can look up, research better, and avoid plagiarism as well. I guess that's another way of doing it. I'm going to go to the next question, and Richa ji, if you want to come in on this, there's been a lot of focus on VR, virtual reality, and immersive architecture. Any views on this as to whether this is effective in the classroom? It's not effective. This is a question from Karunambikeshwari. I'm sorry, please pardon me. Karunambikeshwari from Chandrakanti Public School in Coimbatore.
Yes, Mr. Kanav, I think VR is just the next level of giving children the first-hand experience of learning. uh, though the technology is emerging now, and what I feel is when we talk about real life situations, so many a times I think VR and augmented reality offers solutions to the classroom wherein the child gets a first hand experience of learning about, for example, a biology class. If you would see, children might not have access to, or they would just see a PowerPoint presentation or a video. But once you get a 3D or a 4D image of how the human body functions or looks like, or it also talks about a presentation or a dialogue or an interview with the scientist that's happening. So you're using. So what I believe is that way beyond that, once somebody said that books would suddenly one day become obsolete, and I think VR or the augmented reality is giving an option to us in the form of technology, that from books to your laptop computer or smart boards, we are now moving to the virtual reality. That's the next level of technology in classroom. So of course, if adding that in infrastructure, adding that in your science classroom, or maybe when you're talking about maths and architecture, one of the very interesting projects that's done in the classroom while teaching, that how maths is integrated in architecture. I think VR is something that plays a crucial role to make to improve the understanding of the concept.
Superb. I'm so happy that you're talking about, the interdisciplinary subjects. And I think there's so much scope that has still not been, explode, and I'm so glad that we are using that with AR and VR. I think that's happening. Raviji, do you want to come in on this?
Yeah,
How do we focus on VR and
yeah.
immersive architecture?
Yeah, I can, when that question was, I can think of the videos I myself have seen of virtual tech and content that brings things to life. So it's really, all of us would agree that it's fantastic to actually see things in as close to real life as possible than just reading from books. That said, it's one aspect of content. There is so much different types of content that is available. So it's really about how to, like I said, there's so much content out there. So, and a lot of them, wonderful content, even free. So the challenge becomes, how do we knit them together in our lesson plans and make it available to students as part of a structured curriculum, right? Otherwise, it becomes, okay, I found some video, I send a link, or the student themselves went and found something on YouTube or somewhere. Now there's a lot of good content, there's a lot of bad content too, right? And they shouldn't be wasting time trying to find the needles in the haystack. How can we enable schools to put this together as part of the curriculum and bring it to students? I think that becomes the focus of these things, because even when we buy good content from a good content vendor, we have to take content from multiple places, right? Because there's a lot of great content. So how do we put them together and not just from one vendor or just one type of content? And how do we make it available to as part of the classes? So I think that becomes the interesting focus area when we talk about these things.
Super great, and I'm looking forward to more, interventions from the industry, because that will support. And I'm so glad, Raviji, you spoke about the importance of educators coming into the fold as well. I think that is something that will need to be considered as well. Right. I'm gonna go back to Dr. Harish.
Yes.
Sir, now schools have reopened in the physical form. Now we're looking at students coming back. Obviously, there have been a lot of apprehensions from students, parents, but there's been a lot of excitement as well. Students want to come back, meet their friends, meet their teachers, and we're very happy to have them back on campus. What has been your experience? Have you been able to sort of put some kind of gauge on it as to how the student experience has been? Are you continuing with hybrid classes still, sir?
So we used to continue. We till yesterday we used to continue with hybrid classes because we sent consent forms to the parent. Government of Telangana asked us to take online classes and offline classes both. The children who wanted to join the school, it was at their discretion. So we used to conduct both types of classes. And the system we adopted was that we used to record the classes taken by the teachers and relate to the students which are not able to attend the school because of this pandemic. But now we are opening this. But this was a wonderful experience that the teachers, I'm so thankful to them, they put in a lot of hours and their labor to prepare the classes both ways. I think taking a class online and offline needs different modes of learning and preparation. But they did very magnificently. Yesterday, we organized a welcome back program in our school for all the teachers. I had a gathering of about 300 teachers who came to our school. We had a wonderful get together. We welcomed them back. And now this is the same thing we are going to do for our students when they are coming back on 14th and 21st of March. We had a very scriptural lunch for them, dance and drama, some games for them. They were excited because it was a welcome back for all the teachers. The administrative staff was coming. But I think this online classes, this technology at least saved the time of the students. They were at least in touch with the teaching aids. They were learning something. And I think now we have to gear up because the children will come new. We have to gear up with their tantrums, the small one especially. We'll have a tough time. Teachers will have a tough time with them, but we have to bear it. And what I have instructed my teachers is that 15 days, 2 weeks, you devote to bring up to assimilate your children in such a way they get used to the school atmosphere. I think
Acclimatize is very important.
offline education is the best way of education, sir. However, technologically we may be there, but eye-to-eye contact of a teacher with a child is very important, sir. Very, very important. I think other panelists, respected panelists, will agree to it.
Absolutely.
Sanjay ji wants to come in, but Dr. Harish, I'm going to continue the question. I'm going to ask you two more questions based on your response, sir. One is
Yes.
that, how has this period helped you with retention of teachers, if at all? And my second point is, so very recently, a colleague of mine came and she told me that her daughter does not have friends. Her daughter has virtual friends. She understands and she can talk to her friends on Zoom or on Meet or on WhatsApp video. But when she meets her friends in person, she doesn't recognize them and she doesn't want to talk to them. She wants to hide behind the mother. Are you facing something like this, and what are your solutions to overcome this kind of challenge?
Sir,
Back to
at
you, Dr.
present,
Harish, and then we'll go to Mr. Sanjay, Richaji, and then Raviji. Same line of thought. Please, sir.
Sir, at present, we are not facing that situation. You asked about the question of retaining the teachers. Sir, let me honestly tell you, throughout the pandemic, though we were not able to collect the fees from the students to a much greater extent, we paid 100% salary to our teachers for almost 14 months. And whatever deduction of 30% we made, your battery is very good.
No, you're audible, sir.
Whatever deduction we made in the last 6 months, I have promised them to give them arrears. And this is what helped me to retain my teachers. And you won't believe, in the pandemic, not even a single teacher resigned from her job during the whole pandemic.
Very nice.
Yep. Because they work for us, and it becomes our duty to look after the needs of these teachers. They have given their heart and soul for the school, and it becomes my duty as chairman of the school, as a family member of theirs, to see their needs and fulfill them. Regarding children, I'm a doctor by profession, to be very honest. There are so many parents who come to me, their children are waiting for the school to open.
Superb.
My granddaughter has reached grade 2 from PP2, but she has not attended the class even for a day.
Yeah.
So I think children will not have a problem. They are ready to mix with each other. They are already friends, chat friends on the phone and all, but they will also become real friends when they meet each other in the school. So regarding children, I'm not facing any trouble at that. At
Superb.
present, sir.
Uh, Mr. Sanjay, you wanted to come in on this?
Yes, sir. Actually, those questions are very close to me. I was eagerly
Good.
waiting to when sir was so I do not wanted to interrupt in between, but definitely I have few area of concern. You can say my experience I am sharing with you all. We started our physical school on phased manner from 5th October 2021. We started with 8, 9, 10th initially. Later on, we moved for grade 6th, 7th, also added on. And in last month, we opened for grade 1 onwards. Practically, grade 1 and 2, they are very, parents are little apprehensive about sending them physically after following the government protocols by the all schools, social distancing and other norms. It was little difficult for parent probably to understand that is there really any problem or the problem is over. Though they had taken time to respond physically, but as on date, my all the students are on board, and I'm getting 86% attendance on average from last 7 days. And
Very
believe me,
nice.
it gives a lot of satisfaction to me. Remaining other percentage, probably 5 to 10%, probably not in online, not physical, but remaining other are online, and we're allowing online with permission. For
Very
example,
nice.
somebody is abroad who wanted to join even, and due to some reasons they are not able to come due to global crisis, and somebody may be in at native place, they are need some more days to join physically. They accept that other basic things are maybe medical reasons. Otherwise, all children are on board. And we are back like March 2021 before 2020 before pandemic situation, and they are enjoying full-fledged the way children used to enjoy school in morning with common assembly. their playground, which was still vacated in last 2 years, even all the labs, science lab, ICT lab, libraries, and their sounds are making school vibrant. And
Exactly.
they also physically, mentally, spiritually, and psychologically expected it from last probably after 6 months of lockdown, because first few days they really enjoyed sitting at home, but probably after that they started getting different problem. And even I know some children personally, they used to share their problem with us.
Hmm.
There are different anxiety which develops during the lockdown period, but now in physical they all are physically even fit. That
Yeah.
physically
So,
even fit make little more sense. Not only academics, the health, the well-being, all part are taken care of.
So I
Yes, sir.
always say this, Sanjay ji, I say this as a joke. My uniform vendor had come to meet me some days ago, and he said that I have to make bigger size uniforms now because all kids have sort of become slightly more plump because of lack of activity. But I guess we'll be back to normal. I think Richa ji and Ravi ji, you wanted to come in on this line of thought. Richa ji, you want to go first?
Yes, I think I had a very positive response from parents' side when the government allowed us to open school in a different grade manner. My 100% response was there for the senior classes because they just wanted to come to school, have an offline setup, meet their teachers, meet their friends. There was a slight inhibition at middle and primary level. Again, very positive response for my early childhood classes. In fact, I would say that for past 6 months, except the third wave time, uh, pre-primary children have been very regular, and parents have been very happy because they were, on screen with their virtual friends. They were really, I could see that there is a socio-emotional learning gap that is very much visible. Such kind of measures can only be taken. This learning can only happen when they are physically present in class. So whether it was sharing during the New Year's Eve, or it was Christmas time, or it was now coming close to Holi, having different projects. And in fact, I must share that we also conducted with COVID norms sports day for the middle wing and for the senior students. So keeping their physical fitness in mind, because year before last they could not even compete on any of the competitions within the school. But in 21 we were successfully able to organize certain competitions which were offline and which were in the school, and children and parents really they had cooperated and supported us just to bring their children out of the online platform. Positive in the school, of course there is no replacement. I would say that it's a offline classroom is just like a Midas touch which a teacher can make it in the classroom.
No, absolutely. I'm so glad that you talk about the Midas touch of the teacher and, absolute COVID warriors, in my opinion, alongside the others as well. Teachers have done fabulously, fabulously well over the last 2 years, all across the world. Raviji, you wanted to come in as well?
I can't agree more with what all the panelists have said. Students belong in schools, and the best learning happens in the classroom, in the real world. So glad to see that that is actually starting in different places. That said, I think it's probably going to ebb and flow. We might be prepared for a blend of both in class as well as virtual, because who knows, there might be a fourth wave. Any of those can happen. So the schools do have. I like Dr. Harish's idea of how they use both the real class and the recorded videos. So I think for some time that's going to, being able to do both is a good thing. And I think even for the long term, even after everything is done, we're back to classes. Students will miss classes. This gives them a way to, if they have recordings, to go back and understand that. Sometimes students, even if they don't miss classes, they're well behind. Maybe they're sitting in eighth grade, they don't understand seventh grade concepts very well. So how do they learn that? The teacher cannot teach them one to one. Therefore these some of these technology like is useful even beyond getting back to normal classes. But I absolutely agree with everybody. The real learning happens in classes
So,
because
Raviji, very interesting point you've made. I'm
Yeah.
sorry I'm interrupting you, but I'm going to link it to one of the questions that has come from our viewers, which is from Dr. Shahi from BCM School in Ludhiana, who says that how can we create sustainable infrastructure for schools? Because a lot of things that you're talking about would require building sustainable infrastructure as well. How do we do that?
Great question. I think the way I tend to think about is, when we think about school infrastructure, we used to think tables and chairs and classrooms and whiteboards, right, and books. So I think the technology today is as much as an infrastructure as tables and chairs, and not just for conducting classes, right? Because the least, yes, online classes is one way to do it, but that can be done very well in schools too, right? But there are other ways technology can enable teaching and learning process, helping get student outcomes, enabling teachers to be more effective and save more time, enabling administrators and principals to look at, for example, analytics, to really go deep into what's happening with learning with each student. Where do we have gaps? What is working? What is not working? So beyond the classes itself, which is just one part because COVID forced that on us, technology can do wonderful things there. So that's my view on that.
Great. Thank you, Raviji, for the inputs. I think we are coming close to the 1 hour allocated to us. So I'm going to go to my last question. This is a very personal question that I would like to ask everyone. So, a lot of the kids who are graduating, who have graduated over the last 2 years, we all know this, that they've faced difficulties with regards to admissions to colleges and universities. People from colleges and universities have not found appropriate jobs. Why? Because it's the COVID batch, and you've not really learned. You've just spent time in the classroom, is what these students are told. My first part of the question is, how do we address this issue of the gap, the teaching learning gap, if at all that there has been, and changing the mindset of the people that these students have learned. We have made efforts, teachers have done tremendously well, students have put in efforts, parents have collaborated, so that the teaching learning has continued. My second part of the question is, and this is a wish list question, if you could use technology to solve one problem that you have presently at your school, what would it be and how would you do it? Who would like to start? Dr. Harish, would you like to start first, sir?
So the most important problem which I would like technology to address is to convince the parents to send their pupils to school. Now, how will I do that? We can transmit to them the atmosphere in the school, that how the children who are attending the school at present are running in the field, are playing games, are enjoying with their friends. Because I have analyzed there are at least 30% of the parents still who don't want to send their children to school still when we are opening on 21st March. See how it goes on. If I can use this another technology which I can use is to collect the fees. To be very honest, what problem we faced was collection of fees during the pandemic. The parents used to ask us, why to pay fees when you're not taking classes? They used to forget the online classes. Ma'am, am I right, Richa ma'am?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely, sir. Absolutely.
absolutely. So at that time, we had a lot of defaulters, but touch wood, we could sail through it. It was God's grace, it was Guru's grace. So I would like to use technology to collect the fees of these children so that we can utilize it for the development of the school. How to send messages to the parents. It was a very tough job, sir. Very, very tough.
Very tough job. Very tough job. So, but sir,
One more
I'd share with you, sir, on that line of thought, I'll share with you one experience of mine. I
Yes.
was on one of the national television channels talking about when the entire peace related things had come up. And I absolutely have all understanding, empathy for people who would have been affected by COVID and otherwise, economical difficulties, etc. And we, all of us, have, scope to provide scholarships or waivers to students who genuinely need it. What we don't appreciate, and I say this on behalf of all educators, is when people think that schools have a lot of reserve funds and they don't need any kind of income coming in, which is not correct. There's a lot of expenses that schools also have in terms of salaries, infrastructure, etc., for research, for providing. So I actually said on national television that if you're genuinely affected by COVID, write to me, and if you're part of my school chain, I'll consider it, and we'll give you waivers accordingly. uh, I did not receive even one email saying that they are affected by COVID, and they are facing economical difficulties. I did receive emails from parents saying that we should do it as on moral grounds, but no one really reached out to me as to what difficulties they faced. So, but we also faced a lot of difficulties. I lost my mother to COVID, and it was a very tough time for me. But we kept the school flag going on as well. So it was very, very tough for a lot of people. But I'm so glad you talk about it, Dr. Harish, that parents should also understand that a lot of schools are facing difficulties. Right. Yes, sir. Please go on.
Sir, actually, in our school, what we have made a policy is any child who has lost a parent in COVID, his whole education from the class he is existent till he passes out the school, we are not going to take any tuition fees from them. This is the policy we have made. And at present, there are 4 children who are availing this benefit because they really were in a tough state to continue their education in the school. So we didn't want them to leave the school for paucity of funds. So they are continuing their
Excellent.
education. Thanks to God.
Excellent. More power to you, sir. Richa ji, do you want to come in on this?
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Harish. You just made a statement that's also close to the management of our school. That is education for all. So it is not the COVID times that if the family has lost the bread earning member, it's also about before pandemic times as well. So we do not leave any child behind, and the management takes care of the education of the children in our school. So that's the policy. And I'm so glad and happy that there are a lot of other institutions also that have the similar kind of vision. One solution I would like from technology, I think, would be collaborating with parents. What I feel is parents are the rich resource, very important stakeholders. And when we talk about professional parents, I think the first hand industry experience that I would like them to share with my students and collaborate and work with them, especially the students from grade 6 to grade 12 onwards, how the industry is evolving, how the job sector is evolving, because that's the time when the child is thinking about his future. The parents are planning about the future. The child is, discussing about the stream, the subjects, his interests are evolving. So I believe a kind of solution where we could tap the talent, where the parent from their own busy schedule, I know they're very busy because of the jobs they have, but some solution where we could just bring them on board with use of technology and connect their experience with the students and the teachers in school. I think this is something which I'm looking forward to, though our we plan to start with parent interaction in school, which would be definitely offline, but I'm looking for certain kind of technical solution where the time and place constraint is not there. Those Zoom and other platforms offer such solutions as such, but kind of one platform where the data is there, where we have the resource of the parents and where they can collaborate. Talking about the retention, of course, we were able to retain the teachers during the COVID time. Uh, Difficult times for us because of the fee constraint as well, financial limitations. But I think we were able to retain our staff and teachers.
Great. Thank you so much, Richa ji. I'm going to quickly go over to Sanjay ji for his comments.
First and foremost, I do appreciate with Dr. Harif ji and his vision for the organization, and taking it forward, we had bound to follow all the government rules, and even we had given a lot of scholarship during the time. But definitely, it is case to case basis. And in the same area of concern, there are many parents who are just a opportunist, with due respect to them, that they wanted to take benefit of the COVID situation, even though they are not financially get any effect, any adverse effect. Sometimes got the positive effect of it. They might be getting betterment financially step by steps. It even happened. So many of them are just getting the opportunity along with the flow, like the others. Sorry to say, but it definitely a true picture what we try to communicate. In the same time, I do appreciate and expect if there is something which can, even in COVID time, can able to make children mentally, physically, and psychologically motivated and kept on toes. If technology will provide any such type of instrument or something which can help in all the areas. As of now, we are still on the process of developing, but it is not known to me as of now. Gaming platform, it can develop only few areas, not all three. Other online platform, probably one or two area, not all three. So till we'll be looking forward to those opportunity in near future to come. Over
Sure.
to Kunalji.
Sure. Thank
Kunal.
you. Thank you so much, sir. Raviji, do you want to quickly comment on this, please?
Yeah, let me do that. So I think let me talk about what if there's one thing that technology can enable, how we think about that. So many of the problems that the panel shared, the good news is there is technology there to actually help them achieve those things even today. So that is good. And I think if I expand that, the what we want to solve for today, because we are in the midst of pandemic and we are online, the focus, we might have an immediate problem to solve, but again, it's important to look for the longer term. Yes, today, if I can't collect fees, then I can't run the school. So that's my immediate problem I look for in technology. But there's also the long term opportunity, right? Once we get back, what can we do with tech, right? So that becomes schools have started thinking about that, because some of these immediate problems due to COVID is hopefully going behind us. So if I think about it that way, so what is the purpose of schools? It is to help students learn and achieve, right? Get the outcomes they need. So, and our classrooms have a fundamental constraint, right? We have 40, 50 students in a classroom. Is it as effective as a one-to-one teacher? If I have a classroom of 40 to teach versus one student to teach, of course I can get better. The student on a one-to-one teacher will learn more. So how can a classroom be made as effective as one-to-one, right? So that, if you frame it that way, there are many parts to it, right? Different students are at different spots. I can be in a calculus class. I can't make any sense out of it because I don't understand algebra. Why am I wasting time in this class, right? So how do I learn algebra first before coming here? That could be one aspect of it. Assessments. We give the same assessment to 40 people. Some of them may not be even able to solve 5. Some of them may be able to solve 40 and beyond. So how do we give adaptive assessments so that we are at the right level? There's no point in making a student struggle with something he has no clue about, right? How do we give them at the right level and take them step by step over? Things like socio-emotional learning, right? The best students are not those who are spending the most time. The best students are those who are motivated, enthusiastic, and want to go and learn more, right? How do we build that motivation? How do we build the discipline grit? How do we build the right habits? All of these areas are where technology can help to make it more effective. And even in teachers, right? Ma'am had mentioned teachers are learners. Teachers are also learners. They need to learn their own subject. They need to learn, new pedagogy. They need to learn new technology, new tools. How do we enable that for them? How do we help them collaborate with other teachers, sharing lesson plans, using resources created by others, learning from each other? These are areas where it can help. Again, teacher time. About 60% of time, you might have a better sense, but looking at studies, 60% of time goes towards useful teaching. 40% goes into administrative tasks, updating reports, sharing something, entering data. How can we help teachers reclaim that time and to spend more time to enable effective learning? And finally, Dr. Richard talked about parents, right? What can we meaningfully communicate to parents beyond the report card? There is so much that we need to do, so much that we need to day-to-day communication where they can actually help. So again, technology can help there. And finally, analytics. If you have enough data about what is happening with each student, and what is working well, not working well, with schools, for example, bring on new teachers. They're not as effective as the more experienced teachers, right? So how can we track their progress and help them? So these are all areas where analytics and good data can help. How do we bring that together to bring all stakeholders together, where parents or owners and principals or teachers and students? So there is so much technology could do. I would put that in the way of how do we, all of this can help students get better results and make the life of teachers easy. Because like we had heard before, technology cannot solve it alone. Teachers need to solve it, and technology can enable them.
Yep. So
That's
technology can only be. Thank you so much, Raviji. So technology can only be an enabler. Everything else, will need to be done with a lot of human intervention, and usage of technology is also important. There's one more
Absolutely.
thing that I keep saying, that in God we trust. Everyone else should bring data. I think that's very important as well. That analytics and data becomes very important. Great. I thought. Thank you so much to all the panelists for your wonderful comments. You were all fantastic, and real world applications, real world problems, real world solutions, and you talked about the real scenario at your schools, and I'm so glad that you shared it openly. The verdict going forward is that technology can be an enabler. Going forward, we are looking at a world which will be a hybrid, and but essentially upskilling of teachers, upskilling of students and parents as true partners in the teaching learning process. That's very, very important as well. You've been a great panel, and I really enjoyed moderating it. I'm going to hand back over to Tarannum from Elets to take things forward. And thank you so much for having us over here, Tarannum.
Thank you, Mr. Khan. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, everyone. In fact, thank you for
Thank you,
getting me back
everybody.
here. Yeah.
Please stay
Thank you
safe.
so
Thank
much.
you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Kanak Gupta ji, for being a wonderful moderator. This has been a very, very insightful panel. In fact, I was backstage listening to the entire panel discussion, and it was beautiful listening to all the panelists, because the kind of information and the kind of insights you guys share was very, very valuable looking at the current situation. And I would like to thank all our panelists once again, Mr. Kanak Gupta, Director, Seth MR Jaipuria Schools, who was a wonderful moderator. Thank you so much, sir. Mr. Ravi Kittu, Senior Director, Project Management, Power School. This is we can have speaker certificates for all of them now. A speaker certificate for Mr. Kanak Gupta.
We'll do that. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. A speaker certificate for Mr. Ravi Kittu, Senior Director, Project Management, Power School. Thank you so much, Mr. Kittu, for being a part. A speaker certificate for Mr. Sanjay Nandi, Principal, Podar International School, CIE, Kalyan, Mumbai. Thank you so much, Mr. Nandi. One for Dr. Harish Mirchandani, Chairman, Sadhu Vaswani International School, Hyderabad. Sir, we are delighted to have you here today because it was wonderful listening to you. And one for Ms. Richa Sharma, Principal, Lagab Global School, Noida. Thank you so much, all of you, for being a part of this panel. Thank you so much. We have some stalls out there. You can have a look at those stalls, and you can also be a part of the other panels, which we will be having today and over the next 2 days. You can be part of them as delegates as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you so much.